In our ethics, we're often talking about choices we're making about standards of behavior. This is survival now. I mean, we are all in it together. I mean, if your boat's sinking, is it ethical to start bailing out water? You know, is it ethical not to throw yourself under a bus? You know, or is it just a good idea not to? I think we're in a situation now, if we don't start switching off the lights and saving the water and thinking about our habits, and reflecting on how we consume, we're done for. And our kids are there to remind us. We were talking about this a little earlier. You know, the kids seem to have this instinct that they're going to inherit this mess. We poisoned the planet. We are the generation who have the least excuse. You know, my parents' generation, who incidentally didn't waste anything, they weren't talking about the environment. They were just talking about the whole ethos of wastage. I mean, it was just not something that was acceptable. But we're the generation who have found out what we're doing and who will still have the reins. And so we really have no excuse to pass it on unfixed to our kids. And I think now it's a matter of complete and utter necessity. It's a matter of survival. I know that there are still some flat earthists out there, you know, who insist that this is not happening. That's always going to be the case. But they cannot be allowed to stop us. I think it just has to be done now. And when I see a young guy with an idea, I cannot think of a reason not to support it. I mean, it would have been like a betrayal of a generation. So he wants to do this thing.
Since he was 13 years old. He built his first solar panel when he was 13 years old.
Water off when you're brushing your teeth. It was just habits you got into, and then as I got older I started realizing these habits actually make a difference. You either have good habits or bad habits. And as soon as I got out of high school, I wanted to do something about giving back to the planet on an environmental level, so I started working with Heal the Bay, teaching kids how to clean up the ocean. And then I started learning through teaching them about how important it is to use green cleaning products, because everything that goes down the drains goes to sewage treatment plant. If the chemicals are too strong, it goes into the ocean because they can't clean it out.
But it is the way it is. Particularly in any kind of form of government where self-promotion is a commodity. And we're talking about democracy. I mean, you know, so it can be used in all sorts of regimes. But where votes count and popularity counts, a popular individual is going to have a lot of clout with someone who wants to court votes. It's an uncomfortable thing to realize when you have a profile and people are asking for your help in something which actually could change the direction of something. I don't want to put too much, I don't want to, talk as if this is some lofty position of importance. You are really just a kind of instrument, but nevertheless, it could be a critical one, and your judgment is what you choose to give voice to. Nobody really wants to hear highly important matters of policy handed down to them by actors. The ear of a politician or a newspaper, and they have no chance. You, vacuous celebrity with absolutely nothing to say, everyone will listen. Every journalist, they'll welcome you into the White House or number 10 or whatever. Everyone will listen to you. So if you just want to join the dots and let that ear and that voice connect, you might just be the medium that will allow that to happen. And I think you just have to make the balance between the clamoring voices saying, please speak out for us, and the clamoring voices saying, please shut up, you're an actor. Copenhagen failed. You've got the greed of the advantaged countries and the multinationals. But also you've got the disadvantaged countries that say, wait a second, we're supposed to clean up our act and put our mass production and all the rest of it on hold when you had decades of squandering and waste and reveling in your massive credit and belching stuff into the climate, and we haven't even got there yet.